State your answer.
State your answer.
Correct to one decimal place. To one decimal place. To one decimal place when possible. Alright?
That's the instruction. To one decimal place when possible.
So question 1. Find the area of a square with a side of 7.5 centimeters.
Who wants to take this question? So this is the first press that's going to get evaluated. Let me call on Jude. Jude, are you there? Jude.
Yes, sir.
Right, this question is yours.
Let me write your name right beside it. J.E. stands for Jude, Edwards. Okay, so what I want you to first to do, sketch a square for me. Sketch a square, and I'm going to label one side. We're going to label one side
with 7.5 centimeters.
So let's do that. So let's say this side is 7.5 centimeters. My question to you, Jude, what is the formula for the area of a square if one side is 7.5 centimeters?
Repeat.
7.5 times 7.5.
So you're saying the formula is here for length or L squared. Everybody agree?
Yes, sir.
Area of a square is equal to L squared. Then now you put in the 7.5 squared,
which, as Jude said, is the same thing as 7.5
times 7.5
So Jude, what's 7.5 times 7.5?
51.5.
Are you finished?
Units.
Right. Your units. Don't ever forget your units. Excellent.
Right. Everybody give me a round of applause. That is correct.
So the area of a square now, the inside of the square
would be 51 centimeters squared. Good. Good. Now, the next person that is going to be up is Isabel. Isabella, can you hear me?
Make sure you guys have these off.
Sir, what did he say was the answer again?
51.5 is what Jude got.
Okay, good.
Can you repeat that?
Okay, get that.
7.5 times 7.5. What did you get, Isabella?
6.25. And then the one decimal place is 162.5.
Ooh.
56.
Can you repeat that from the top? You said what you get?
Repeat.
Can you repeat what you said from the top?
7.5 cm times 7.5 cm.
Yes, that gives you
56.25.
6.25. Okay. Let me verify. So we have two choices. We have two answers, and let's see which one is correct.
So I'm gonna go with Isabel's.
No, you need to prove it firstly. Work it out. 7.5. Let's work it out over here. 7.5 times 7.5. Let's work it out over here. 5 times 5 gives you
25.
25. Excellent. 5 times 7.
35.
35. 35 plus 2.
As 37.
37. Excellent. Put a 0 for our placeholder. Then now we say 7 times 5.
35.
35. Then now we say 7 times 7.
Yep, 49.
49. 49 plus 3.
52.
52. So we're going to put the 2. Carry the 5, but there's nothing to carry to, so we'll just put the 5 here. Then now we're going to add. Let's add together. 5 plus 0, that's 5. What's 7 plus 5? Benjamin. 7 plus 5?
Plus 5 is 12.
12. We put the 2, you carry the 1. 3 plus 2 is 5. Plus 1. 6. And then 5 right here. So yes.
86.25.
But here's the thing now. You're going to count how many numbers you have behind the decimal point, which is 1, 2. Then you're going to count 1, 2. So your answer is 56.25. So Isabel is correct. But Isabel, you said you have to round it off. If you look at the instruction, it says to 1 decimal place when possible.
This would be
What would be the answer there for Isabella?
56.3
56.3 what?
centimeters squared.
Right. You look at the 2, that's the first decimal point. Then you look to the right of that 2, you see 5. 5 is equal to 5 or greater, so that means we're going to add 1 to 2 and make it 3, and then we just leave nothing here. So we have this 56.3 centimeters squared. Judy, see where we went wrong?
Yes, sir.
Alright, make the correction for me. Alright, so funny enough, since Isabella attempted that, well, corrected that question, we're going to now ask someone else to jump in as well. So this question goes to Naima. Naima, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Your question is, calculate, so can I erase the board? Is everybody finished writing? So the answer is 56.3 centimeters squared. And the formula for the area of a square is L squared, or length times length. Okay, here's Naima's question. Let's write it off. It says, calculate the area of a rectangle calculate the area of a rectangle, right, of length .7 centimeters and breadth DTH of 4.3 centimeters. Okay, Naima, first thing you're going to sketch a rectangle. So let's sketch it quickly right here. Alright, here we go.
Yes. I have a question.
Yes, what's your question?
What if we don't sketch the rectangle and we do the working out in the exam?
Can you repeat that for me?
What if we don't sketch the rectangle and only do the working out in the exam?
The reason why I'm sketching the rectangle is not because it is a requirement, rather it helps you to see it. So in exams to say that if you want to, you can sketch the diagram, but it's not required. Alright? I won't mark you down if you don't have your diagram, but you must have your working out and your units. Okay, Naima, would this side be the length?
Yes, sir.
Alright, let's write it. Are you sure? This side right here, that's the length. What is the length should be? What should be the length? The longest or the shortest side on a rectangle?
Long.
The longest.
So is this the longest side?
No, sir.
Right, so this is the longest side, right? So therefore, let's look at the measurement. What was the measurement for the length?
9.7 cm.
So we're going to put 9.7. That's why, so Isabella, I hope you see that a while ago. That's why I drew the diagram for persons who might misconstrue which one would be the length and which one would be the breadth. Alright? So the length has to be the longest side. The breadth now is another word for width. Width. W-I-D-T-H. Alright? Same word as width. So therefore, this would be the width of 4.3. So my question to you, Naima, what is the formula for the area of a rectangle?
Length times width.
Length times width, that's correct. So we're going to say A is equal to L times W. What's L? 9.7. And what is the breadth? 4.3.
4.3.
Okay, so what does that give you? I want you to multiply throughout. So tell me what to write over here. So we're going to multiply 9.7 and 4.3. You shouldn't be using your calculator for these simple calculations. So here we go. 9.7 multiplied by 4.3. No calculators, guys. Come on. 7 times 3, 9.
21.
21. 3 times 9?
27.
27. 27 plus 2?
29.
29. What should I do before I go to the fourth or the second column?
Add a 0.
Exactly. Put a placeholder of 0. 7 times 4?
28.
28. Carry the 8. Put the 1, put the 2 over here. Good. 9 times 4?
36.
36 plus 2?
39.
36 plus 2?
38. 38.
38. Good. Let's add this now. 1. What's 9 plus 8?
17.
17. Okay? The trick is just to say 9 plus 9, 18 minus 1. Simple. That's 17. Carry the 1. What's 8 plus 2 plus 1?
11.
11. And then 1 plus 3?
4.
4. So therefore, what is our answer? 4,171?
No, sir, you have to put the decimal.
Right. What we're going to do? We're going to count how many decimal places we see after each number. So for 9.7, there's 1 decimal place. For 4.3, there's 1 decimal place. So that's 2 decimal places. So we're going to start from here. 1, 2. Therefore, what is our answer?
41.71.
41.71. You sure? I think you're missing something. There's another centimeters.
Squared.
Right. Centimeters. It's a very small rectangle. So in other words, the area inside would be 41.71 centimeters squared. Excellent. We're going to do one more. This one goes to the quietest person in the room, and that is going to be the person who has the camera off. At least one. Yes.
I said 41.71, not 41.7.
Exactly. You tell me. What did the instructions say, Naima? Read the question again. Remember, you guys are doing the questions. The very first thing I wrote on the board was what? State.
Your answer.
Correct to what? 1 decimal place. So, you would have lost a mark here, and I want you to tell me why. What did you do?
I didn't round it up to 1 decimal place.
Right, so you're going to look at the 7, and the number compared to the right is 1 or less than or above 5.
It's less than.
So therefore, that means we're going to just drop the 1 and leave the 7. So our answer is now going to be 41.7 centimeters squared. Alright, this one goes to Yifeng. I haven't heard from you, Yifeng. Can you hear me? Everybody finish writing off the board?
Yes, sir.
Alright. So as I was saying this morning, the school was to send out an email regarding the book club, right? For those who went at devotion this morning, the school has a book club. Today we're going to read a very good book. It's called, well, it's a comic book. So I'm going to take a 2-minute break just to show you the comic book. I know some of you guys probably like reading, some of you guys probably like comic books. So it's a bridge of both worlds. Let me quickly show you the book. Alright? So hopefully I'll see some of you guys there today. Moby.
First book club for junior school.
Can you repeat that?
Book club also for junior school.
Is book club what?
Is book club also for
Yeah, it's not for junior school in terms of participation, because I'd really focus on a senior school, because the books that we're reading is a little bit more of teen level. So the book that we're reading today is a comic book called Moby Dick, right? It's a classical book turned into comic, so it should be fun. A lot of you guys like comics, so I bridge both worlds. Moby Dick is a great book, and when I have it in a comic version now, it'll help you to embrace the themes behind it. So I look forward to seeing you guys there. Alright, it is sure to be an awesome day. So see you guys at 3. But let's continue now with class. So this question goes to Yifeng, the person I know that loves comic books. Yifeng, can you hear me? Yifeng Jean. Hello? Alright, he's not here? Okay, I'll check up on him in a bit. I'll put him in the waiting room since his camera is not on and he's not responding. Text me in the group when you're back, Yifeng. Alex, are you there? Alex, why is the camera off? Quickly guys, come on. Alex, can you hear me?
Yes, sir, I can hear you.
Thank you. Don't have your camera off. It makes me very nervous. People looking at me and I can't look at them. That makes me nervous. Alright? Let's go. This question now goes to Aliana. Are you there?
Yes, sir, I'm here.
No, this is the hardest question. I'm not going to lie to you. So if you want help, just ask. I'm going to give you a table, right? And it has area, length, and width. You're going to fill in the blanks. Okay? So let's look at this table. It says, so this was the previous instruction, but here's the instruction now for this table. So here's this. For this table, it says, copy and complete the following table following table for the different rectangles. Alright, let me add my E thing again now. Alright, so here's the table now, Aliana. We have area, centimeters squared. The first area that you have is 28.4. So you are given the area. So before we even move further, let's fill in the table first, and then we'll talk. We have length. Alright, and the length that you are given is going to be 18.2 centimeters. Measured in centimeters. 18.2. So, what is the unknown therefore, Aliana? If you're given area and you're given length, what is the equation for a rectangle? What are we missing?
You're missing the width.
So therefore, A is equal to L times W. We have A, we have L, and we don't have W. So what I want you to do, Aliana, you're going to fill in the blanks. What was A again, based on the question?
Area is 28.4.
So we're going to replace. So we're going to say using substitution. Put that up in. Using substitution from table, we input values to find the unknown. You guys remember linear equations, right? We did that last time. We're going to find the unknown. So my question to you is, Aliana, what's the unknown here? What would you call X as the unknown?
X is the width.
Right. Excellent. I like how you said X is the width. So we're going to now say A is equal to L times X. Because I like to use X as my unknown since that's how we were learning it. Right? Let's just put X as our unknown. Good. We're going to put in the values now. So we're going to say 28.4. One second. I think my mic is having a little issues. 1 second, everybody. Sorry about that. My mic was very weird. That was my stomach. Let's continue. So we have 28.4 from what Aliana said is the A. Now, what is the L, Aliana? You may unmute.
Sir, the length is 18.2 centimeters.
So we have 18.2 times X. How could I replace that? By just saying 18.2 times X. How could I just say 18.2? 18. No. Look, if I have 18.2 times X, when I multiply 18.2 and X, what do I get? Isn't it 18.2X?
Yes, sir.
Right. So therefore we're going to have 18.2X. You see that, Aliana? Everybody see that? When I have 4,
To find X, sir, you're gonna have to divide 18.2 by.
but 1 second. When I have 4 times X, that's the same thing as 4X. When I have 12 times X, it's the same thing as 12X. Okay? So now that's how I got 18.2X, for those who are wondering. Now, Aliana, George gave you some tips, he gave you some hints, he gave you some DIY instructions. Follow his instructions and tell me what you should do.
Sir, can you repeat? You were breaking up.
So I was saying, George gave you some tips, he gave you some hints, he gave you some DIY instructions. What are you going to do here? You must get X by itself. So what should you do to get rid of the 18.2?
Sir, to find X, you have to add the area by the length.
Right. I like, so let's put it here. So, divide both sides by 18.2. Let's do that. We're going to have 28.4 divided by 18.2 is not equal to, yes, it's equal to 18.2x divided by 18.2. What happens over here? 18.2 divided by 18.2. What does that give me, Aliana?
0.
Not 0, but 1. 1, right. Good. Now this one is what you're going to solve for me. But before we solve it, let's rewrite what we have so far. We don't want to be confused. So we're going to say, therefore, all of this over here is just equal to x. What would be 28.4 now divided by 18.2, Alian? For this one, you can use long division. Right, you can use long division if you'd so like. Or you can quickly type it in your calculator and tell me what you get. 28.4 divided by 18.2.
So do you mind repeating the chapter?
Yeah, just quickly type it in your calculator since this is a question where we understand what to do. Just type it in your calculator for me and then we're going to know the answer for x. X is equal to?
So my calculator showing me 1.56.
1.56. I want one more person to confirm. Anybody else can confirm they get 1.56? Annalise, what do you get? I haven't heard from you, Annalise. Annalise, what did you get for your answer?
0.56.
Okay, good. I'm trusting you. That means if somebody says you got it wrong, who are we gonna blame? I'm just kidding. It's 1.56. So what we're gonna do now, I want Annalise to take the phone and she's gonna tell me what does x equal 1.56 mean. I don't know what this means. So what does it mean, Annalise, based on the question overall? What does it represent?
The width.
The width. So I'm gonna put the 3 dots, remember the 3 dots? The lovely 3 dots. I'm gonna say therefore the width of the rectangle is 1.56, just that? Or am I forgetting something?
Centimeters.
Good. So therefore, the width of the rectangle is 1.56 centimeters. Now this question is very beautiful because what happens now, when I draw the next column right here and I put the 1.56, if I multiply the length and the width, I will actually get back the area. So let's put the column first. Can I rub off this portion right here? Can I rub off this portion right here?
Yes, sir.
Good. As long as George said it, I can blame him if anybody says, sir. Okay. Now here we go. We're going to draw the next column for the width. So here we go. We're going to say width in centimeters is going to therefore equal to 1.56. Alright. Now stop for me for a moment and take a look at this. If you wanted, you could draw this rectangle. Right? Because look at it. The length is very, you can sketch this rectangle by using your ideal mind. Look at this. If the length is 18.2, let's say that's 18.2. If the width is 1.56, isn't it going to be very small? Like that? Isn't 1.56 very small compared to 18? So that means our rectangle is like a little pencil. So when you look at it in this perspective, the area is going to be very close to the length. Do you guys see that? So that's why I wanted to sketch rectangles to help you understand now what would have been your width. Because if you got some answer that was crazy, if you got the answer that your width was 15 point something, you would know that's incorrect based on how the sketch looks. Okay? I'm going to give you one note to fill in, and that's going to be your homework. So here's your next one. I'm going to fill in the blank for you. Let me draw a next column. So let's draw a next row to the table. Let's draw a next row. Alright, here's the next row. Okay? Now, your area, it will be too easy if I gave you length and width and ask you to find area. This one, I'm going to ask you to find length. Alright? So here's your question. Your area is 39.5. You don't know the length, but you do know the width, which is 4.5. That's your homework. I'm going to quickly write it off. And I want to see all working before I even look at your answer. I want to see all working. Everybody take out the table?
Yes, sir.
Alright, good. Good. Now, we're on great progress. So what we're going to do for the next 10 minutes is to answer any questions you have. We've looked at a couple topics. I'm going to write them on the board. And you're going to tell me which topic you don't feel comfortable with. Because in the next class, we're going to look at a topic that is actually a combination of shapes. Where you're going to be given a shape that has a triangle, that has a base, and you're going to find the area of both of them. So before we go to this type of area, we must be comfortable with the simple areas. Alright? So I'm going to write the shapes on the board, and you're going to tell me the formulas for them before we move on to compound shapes. So take out the following shapes from it, and I'm going to ask each person to recall the formula.
Down at the table.
Alright, quickly take it off. That's why I was taking my time, because I had a feeling. So in the meanwhile, let me quickly now write it to
The squares.
Can you put that for me?
Say, like the last part of the where should I see area, length, and what's next?
Oh, width. So, rhombus. Let's look back on rhombus. That's the first shape we're looking back over. Right? When you look at a rhombus, let me give you a sketch of a rhombus. This can be found on page 277. There you go. So let me sketch a rhombus, and I want one person to tell me the formula. Here we go. Okay? And you're given a height now. What would be the formula for a rhombus? Isabella?
Formula for rhombus is times Q or height times length, I think.
Right. Okay, let me help you. So you said it's either P times Q or height times length. But here's what I'm going to ask you. The appropriate name for this is called base. We call this base. And you did get this correct when you said it was height. Right? So we're going to call this height. So therefore the formula, as she closely got, was A is equal to base times height. Not to be confused with the area of a triangle, which is half base times height. Next shape we're going to look at, so it goes to George.
And I want
Yes,
to
sir.
get Alex after this, but George first. Here's your shape. Let me give you a sketch.
So what do you want, sir? The perimeter, sir?
The formula for the area.
Okay, sir. So the formula of the area is P times Q over 2.
Repeat that for me. So what would you call this side? Let's label the sides first. Let's say you're given this side, George. What would you call it? Right there.
Where, sir? That side,
From
sir?
this point all the way down to that point. What do we call
That
it?
is Q. That's Q, sir, from curve.
Right? I said, yeah, you can use Q or you can say big D. Right? Or if you want, you can put Q. No. What did I call the next side?
Sir, that's P.
Repeat that for me?
That's P.
P, right? Or lowercase d. Remember that one? Okay? So this is lowercase d. So it's either P or lowercase d. So the formula is going to be equal to what, therefore? Area is going to be equal to George? Half what?
Wait, go on, sir? Go on, sir.
For the area of a car, you said half what?
Oh, sir, so it's P times Q over 2.
Right, or in this case, D times capital D over 2. Excellent, good job. Next one goes to Alex. Are you there? Alex. See, that's a trick. He is there, but he just doesn't want to answer. Alright, because he's waiting for the timer. Alright, so we're going to rejoin, and then Alex will be called upon to tell me the area of a trapezium. Okay? Rejoin from everybody. Alright, so Alex is having Wi-Fi issues, he says. So I'm gonna call on Kira. Kira, put your foot into this and tell me now. That was a good one. Put your foot into this question and tell me now what would be the area for a trapezium?
Sir, you're muted.
So you guys missed my joke? I was telling a very funny joke. Did you guys hear it? So I was saying,
Sir, you're muted the whole.
alright, so here's the joke. I was saying, Kira, put your foot into this question and tell me what's the formula for a trapezium. You guys get it? That's funny. It's funny. So Kira, put your foot into this question. Are you there? What's the formula for a trapezium? Is her foot here? Kira, can you hear me? I think her foot ran away. 1 second. 1 second.
Sir, so you just technically her not to just answer it.
Yeah, so alright, I think she's busy. Okay, I want Corey then. Corey, quickly, come on. Want to save time. What's the formula for a trapezium? Let's sketch it firstly before we answer. Formula for a trapezium that looks a bit like this. What's the formula for this trapezium, Corey? Corey?
Half A plus B, sir.
Okay, you said half A plus B?
Yes, sir. I normally just put A plus B over 2.
You're close, and I would have given you the mark, but you forgot a very important letter. Alright? You said H. There you go. So let's label it first then. This would be the base. Where would have been the A, Corey?
Here? Here or here?
Going up.
This one going up?
I think so.
And I have to disagree with you. The reason why, I gave you a very good example to explain why we say A plus B. If you look at base, isn't it a horizontal line? Now in a triangle, you only have one horizontal line. So you only have to say base times height. But in this, don't we have two horizontal lines? 1 and 2. So we call this A, and in order to find the total base, we add the two together to get the total base like you would in a triangle. That's why you say A plus B in a bracket, then you times it by H. You see that? Yeah. So that's why now I always try to give you the example as to how the two correlate. Because if I didn't have an A, this would technically be a triangle. But because I have a length above the top, I have to give it an A, so I add it to B. So the formula therefore is A is equal to a half B plus A times H. Good. Thank you, Corey. Next person, I'm going to call on someone I haven't heard from today before we wrap up. I haven't heard from Michael. Michael, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Alright, this question is all you, my friend. I know it's going to be hard, so I apologize in advance. But I wanted to try. We're looking at circles. And I told you that in a circle you have sectors. That's a perfect circle, guys. Come on. Round of applause. In a circle though, in a circle you will have sectors. So let's say this is the center and this is the portion of the circle that I have. What was the formula I said to find the area of this section, Michael? Just this section. A quarter of this area. How would you say that? So let me give you a little assistance. What would be the area of a circle again? Wouldn't it be pi?
3.
Repeat that?
3 over 4 multiplied pi r squared.
You're very close. You're very close. But the reason why I would say it's not 3 over 4, but rather a quarter, you only see a quarter of the circle. But if I had 3 slices now, then I would have said 3/4. So good job there. Still got it though. So we're going to say a quarter multiplied by pi r squared. Good job, Michael. One more time. Let's try this one, Michael. What if you have this section of the circle? What would be this formula? How much quarters do you have?
1 over 2 multiplied pi r squared.
Right. Excellent. Excellent. Good job. Good job. And the last question before you go, we're going to talk about length of an arc. This one is probably going to be difficult to remember, but let's try to get it though.
The area of a what?
The length of an arc. The length of an arc. So, a lot of persons were having difficulty with this because I taught it at the end of a class, which is my bad. But we're going to go for it now. Let's say, Michael, that I still have this sector. I know the area inside, but Michael, I want to know the length of this curve. Do you remember the formula? The length of this curve. I'm going to go through it now, so stick with me. What was the formula for a circumference, which is the distance around the entire circle, Michael?
3.14.
Right? 3.14 times?
Yes, I don't remember.
So, don't worry.
The circumference of a circle is the total distance around it, so therefore the formula is pi r. Everybody agree?
Isn't that Trapezium pi r?
Exactly. And here's the distinction. I told you the reason why we say pi r or 2 pi r is because pi r represents half of a circle, right? And 2 pi r represents the other half of the circle. Okay? Everybody understand? When we see pi r, that's half of a circle. But when you see 2 pi r, that's the entire distance around the circle. Hence the term half pi r for half the circle. Everybody clear?
Yes, sir.
Here's the trick. Michael, I want you to be confident with me now. If I have no pi r, right, and I have a full half there, how would I express this? I just removed half of it, so how could I express that, Michael? What do I have left? Isn't it half? Right. So that means I'm going to say the formula is 1 divided by 2 times pi r. Understand? Michael, one last question before you go. What would be the formula for that then?
1/2 multiplied by pi squared or pi r squared.
That's close. That's close. I see what you're doing, but here's what I want you to do. Because before I had half and I add another half, what's half plus half, Michael?
4.
Half plus half?
2.
Right? When you add them together, 2/4, right? But what I want you to realize is that half and half make one whole. So therefore, if I have one whole, that means I have an entire pi r. So the length of this arc is equal to pi r, and half of that length now would have been 1 divided by 2 pi r. 1 divided by 2 pi r. My question now goes to Annalise. Annalise, are you there? Annalise? Right. You're a genius, so I know you'll get this. If half of a semicircle is half pi r and a full semicircle is pi r, tell me now what will be the formula for the length of this arc? What will be the formula for the entire distance of the arc? The length of it. Keep in mind circumference. Let's add it together. Stick with me, Annalise. What did I say the formula for half of it was? Was half pi r, right? Let's put that. Let's put half. So we're going to do some addition. What did I say the formula for this section was? Was a whole, right?
Yes, sir, it's a whole.
So that means if I have a whole, it's the same thing as 2/2. So to find the entire length of this arc, I'm going to add a half plus 2/2. So add that for me and tell me what you get. What is a half plus 2/2? That will tell us the length of this radius of arc, or length of arc. That would be Yifeng, you're asking what time is it? My bad. This class is so good, I forgot that time existed. But quickly, Annalise, what is half plus 2/2?
2.
Isn't it 3 over 2? Because I have the same denominator, I can just add the numerator and I'm going to say 2 plus 1 is 3. So therefore, the formula to find the length of this arc, Annalise, is going to be 3 over 2 times what? What is it? 3 over 2 times pi r, right? Alright, I don't like that, yes, but I'll take it. So next class, we're going to practice some questions on this. But remember, your homework was to fill in the blank for the table I gave you. Have a great rest of the day, everybody. Sorry for taking up 5 minutes of your lunchtime. I'll see you next time tomorrow.
Okay, sir.